Hello everyone, Daz of American Civil War and UK history, and I've decided this evening I've got a little bit of spare time on my hands to come out and show you a few of my local history spots which I like to come along to when I'm got a bit of spare time. So the first one I'm going to stop at today, and as you can see, I don't know whether you can see the sign behind me, but this is the Battle of Britain Memorial Site, and this is up on the cliff top. Basically it's pretty much on the White Cliffs, in between Folkestone and Dover. It's an amazing little site. I did do a little visit up here when I first started my page a long time ago. The video is available somewhere on my platforms, but the day I came up here was beginning of February, and we just had a snowstorm, and I walked up here because I was a bit of a loose end after being furloughed from work. But I'm going to take you around the site because it's pretty cool, and also there's no snow on the ground today, so it's a little bit easier. So here's the sign as you enter, or just on the outside. They're pretty cool, in the shape of a wing. And again, so it's in a place called Capel-le-Ferne, which is up on a cliff. And we're going to go and have a look round. What is also really cool is the gates have RAF on the top of them, and the idea is I want to bring you guys out to these places because they're important. Local history is important, and again I want to share that with everyone else. But also, if you do live in the local area, then come and have a look, because there's these beautiful places, even if you're not into the history, beautiful places you can come and walk and look around. I will be taking you to a couple of other little spots this evening, but I thought I'd start up here. And over a time period I will be going to a lot of local places and sharing it with everybody else. So as you come in the gate here, come in the main gate, you have this monument that has been put here, Battle of Britain Memorial. With 1940 on the front there. Now, Battle of Britain Day is commemorated here in the UK, and it was the Battle of Britain Day. It culminated on the 15th of September 1940. And they thought it would be a great idea to put this place up here, which I think is amazing, overlooking the cliffs. Battle of Britain starts on the 10th of July 1940 and then ends on the 31st of October 1940. But again, like I said, the main Battle of Britain actually takes place on the 15th of September, and that is when Britain are real dire straits. They're under a lot of pressure, the German Air Force was very powerful, but luckily for Britain we managed to stop them from overpowering us in the skies, and the RAF prevailed. Now I'm going to walk you around the site, and I'm also going to show you an incredible view from the cliff top all the way down to Folkestone itself. But let's just have a look at this amazing saying that they put on the wall here. So again, memorial to all those who fought in the Battle of Britain 1940. And a saying by the famous Prime Minister Winston Churchill, which is engraved here on this stone. So, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Winston Churchill. And again, this is an amazing site. So if you're just tuning in, I've decided I've got so much local history around me, I want to share it with other people, but I also want to encourage people to get out their front doors, come out and explore your local history. And it is such a beautiful evening here. So it's coming up to 7 PM UK time, and it is a beautiful evening. I've got a spare bit of time and I want to share this amazing place with you guys. So as you come in the gate over there, as you can see, you can park up here if you do happen to come up here. You do get charged for parking, but what I will say is all of the charges go towards the running of the site, so it is worth the money just for the upkeep of the site. The building you see there is like a museum inside, little bits and bobs. I've never actually been in there because during the COVID period I couldn't go in there. I am planning on doing that at some point, because I do plan on doing something on Battle of Britain in September this year, if time allows. Problem is I've got so many different projects on, it's hard to balance them all. But yeah, if you go in there's a visitor centre, there's stuff for children to do in there, there's obviously you're going to have experts, and sometimes even hold little conferences. Let's have a look around the rest of the site. And of course, if you're watching along and you have any questions, please ask. I'll try and answer questions if I can. So again, you have a series of signs that explain the place. So the Battle of Britain Memorial was opened on July the 9th, 1993 by the Queen Mother. This is what it looks like from an aerial view. So in the centre there, and I'll take you up there in a minute, there is a monument of a pilot sitting down in the middle of a giant propeller. And again, original donators were Queen Elizabeth herself and the Queen Mother. Oh sorry, Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, sorry. Yeah. Loads of different foundations help fund this. Every year on Battle of Britain Memorial Day, the 15th of September, there is a memorial ceremony that takes place. There is also an amazing wall, which I'll take you to in a minute, which is a memorial wall. And again, it's all for those brave men that got into those tiny little cockpits and went up in the skies up above us here. As you're looking here, you'll see the English Channel is just literally just over this mound, which I'll take you to in a minute. I'll try and talk loudly when I'm at that bit because you won't be able to hear me. It's very windy. Again, you can donate £2 if you feel like you have to. Again, it all goes towards the running of the site and the support of the site, which it is a foundation, you know. And again, like I said, so you have more signs here explaining the darkest hour of you know, the Battle of Britain. One of those being the Dunkirk Invasion. Of course, we had to get all our troops back. 300,000 British troops had to be evacuated from the French coast, or they would have been completely wiped out. Sir Bertram Ramsay was part of that. The Battle of Britain, like I said, starts in July of 1914, and the idea is the Nazi Germany want to get rid of the RAF and just completely destroy it and get control of the skies of Britain. If you're going to, you know, mount an invasion of Great Britain, obviously we have 21 miles of from here to, or from Dover to Calais. You're going to need to knock out the RAF first. Do excuse my shadow. Now this is important. This is Capel Battery. So next door, just the other side of these planes that we have here, replicas, there is an excavation going on. There was a battery, it's huge, in place just over there, and they're excavating at the moment, and once it's finished we'll be able to visit it. You can volunteer to go and help. It's been going on for a good couple of years now. It's a massive site, but you can just see here there's a map of it. Well, you probably can't because my shadow's in the way. Yeah. Okay, let's go and have a look at these replicas. Oh, just spotted something really cool. The squadron dog. A little cool little sculpture. So this squadron. Following them around. I should imagine most of them did. Remember, there was a lot of airfields in this area. One being Hawkinge. Hawkinge is literally just down the road from here. There's an amazing museum there run by an amazing guy who bought up a part of that land. Unfortunately, a lot of it was lost to development. He runs a museum called Kent's Battle of Britain Museum, and it has got the biggest collection of warplanes. How was it again? Sorry, do excuse me. So it's got the biggest collection of wreckages in Europe of World War II planes, from what I understand, and it has also got planes, you know, like replicas, not only replicas, but it has got, you know, real ones as well. So this is a replica of a Hawker Hurricane, and we'll have a look. Full-size replica. See, they have to tie it down really tightly because it gets very, very windy up here. But this was one of the planes that would be up in the sky fighting the Luftwaffe and stopping the Germans from knocking out the RAF. On the side there, can you see that? 2 fingers up to the Nazis and the SS. How cool is that? And let's go over to one of Britain's most famous fighter planes, and that is the Spitfire. It's just such a beautiful place to come and walk around. And again, if you're just joining me, the idea behind this is I'm trying to promote local history, but also I want to share my local history because there's so much of it. It's just amazing, you know. And places like this, you can come and really sometimes collect your thoughts, and it's just nice. So if you are in the local area, always come along and visit these places. Again, even if you're not into history, it's a great place to come and visit on this beautiful summer's evening. And here we have it, the Spitfire. Very integral part of the defence of Great Britain. And again, the invasion of the Germans was very, very real, and it very, very nearly happened. Right, so I'm going to take you round now to a really cool little place. And that is the memorial wall. Now, if you can't hear me, I do apologise, because it does get very windy up here. We're a little bit higher up. We're up on the cliff at Capel-le-Ferne, near Folkestone, in between Folkestone and Dover. And this is the Battle of Britain Memorial Site. Really, really worth a visit. If you're ever in this area in Kent, if you ever visit in the UK, this is definitely a place you would want to come and visit, because it's just beautiful. Opened by the Queen Mother in 1993. And again, here is the visitors centre. Lots to see and do in there. Opening hours, I believe, are 10 AM till 4 PM. And again, you have to pay for parking, but the money goes towards the upkeep of the site. Okay. Now this is really, really powerful and really cool. This is our wall, and this is a wall of remembrance for all those that fought in the Battle of Britain. And some of these guys would have died. And there's going to be a lot of glare off this because they're very shiny, and the sun is literally to my side there. So I apologise for that. And there's that great saying again by Winston Churchill. Memorial wall to all those who fought in the Battle of Britain. What a beautiful sight this is. Definitely need to come up here more often. I don't come up here enough. It's just so beautiful. And again, like I said, even if you're not into history, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. Okay, so if you was listening at the beginning, what we're doing is we're standing on the edge of a massive propeller. So from the sky, this is a huge propeller of a Spitfire. And in the middle is a lonely man, or lonely pilot, sitting there looking across the English Channel. And today is such a beautiful clear day, you can actually see the coast of France today, and you'll realise, if you can pick it up on the camera, because you don't always pick it up on the camera, you'll realise how close we are to the coast of France from here. Dover and Folkestone will actually after the Battle of Britain, will endure bombing from the French coast. Dover is pounded all the time during during World War II. Obviously, why the Germans occupy France. But you just cannot get over the beauty of this place. I mean, who would not want to come and walk around this, even if you didn't like history? So, around the outside, it has opened by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, in 1993. This was first opened, and on here we have all of the squadrons which were involved in the Battle of Britain, and we have this guy pilot sitting here looking across the English Channel to France. The channel. Let's just take a moment to look at all the squadrons. Again, like I pointed out, there were a lot of airfields in this area, particularly in Kent, just up the road from us in Hawkinge. It's a huge airfield there. And in the early part of the Battle of Britain, they targeted the airfields, but they changed tack halfway through. And they decided, and at this point as well, during this period, there comes a point where the RAF and all of these airfields are literally on their knees. Please excuse the wind. And but the Germans change their tactics and they start bombing London. They start bombing civilians in a way that's awful, but actually it actually helps Britain, in particular when the airfields, to recover, repair themselves. It gives them a chance to reinvigorate themselves and go again, and that's what they do, you know. And let's get this guy's view across the channel. Out to the cliff edge. I won't bother talking because it'll be too windy. Well, I'll try anyway. You probably won't hear me. In actual fact, it'd probably be better to go up on one of these mountains and we'll get an amazing view across the channel. I mean, I can actually see the coast of France right now. Whether it's coming up on the camera, I don't know, but I can see it very, very clearly. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening. We're quite blessed here on the south coast of England, in the southeast coast of England. We get beautiful weather in Kent majority of the time, regardless of what most of Americans think that it rains all the time in England. It doesn't. We actually have a nice little climate down here in the southeast of England. Wow, what a beautiful view. I'll take you around to this bit first and you can see the white cliffs. And again, like I said, so you can just see them coming up over the top there now, just here. That goes round to Dover, Port of Dover. but that is how close we are. Again, 21 miles from Dover to Calais. So again, this whole area of Kent, Folkestone, Dover was bombarded after the Battle of Britain during the rest of the war, until the Allies in 1944 take back France. But you can see why as well, going back to D-Day, you can see why the Germans thought that the Allied forces, sorry, were going to cross this part, and they didn't. They tricked them. Down there as well, you can see the rail line that goes all the way to Dover and up around the coast. And we're going to walk over the other side because we're going to get a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful view of Folkestone. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'm taking you guys out to some of my local history spots, which are some of my favourites, because I want to share them with everyone. And today we are at the Battle of Britain Memorial Site, which is in Capel-le-Ferne, in between Folkestone and Dover. And in a minute we're going to get a beautiful, beautiful view of one of my favourite things in Folkestone, and that is Martello Tower number 3. And if you've been following my page, you'll know that I do go on about that quite a lot. Arm was really, really important. 8.9 million Allied troops left from that port and went over to fight in the trenches in France, which is literally just over there. And you can see it very, very clearly, the coast of France. Anyway, I'm going to finish this live stream here. I am going to go to another location in a minute, so hopefully you'll join me again. But I'm going to leave you with the beautiful sight of the English Channel and the skies of where the Battle of Britain took place.